What is up, everyone? JD here. I hope you're all doing well today and had a fantastic week. I am bringing you another favorite carries of the week. I'm going to go through the knives that I carried this week, why I carried them, and what I like about them. So let's go ahead and jump into this. On Monday, I decided to try to do another Micarta Monday theme. So I went with my Urban EDC Supply F55 with the black micarta, the M390 blade steel that has an acid etch and stonewash, and I really like the way that this one looks, and it is just such a nice little pocket tank. It is a little bit more chunky than your typical EDC. You can tell by the blade stock and the thickness of the handles, but I love all the accents and the hardware and the build of this, and it just has such good ergonomics. My hands are a little bit bigger, so I can't quite choke up into that finger choil cutout or sharpening choil cutout. But if you're just trying to do something easy, like if you're trying to get into an envelope or something where you just want to pinch up a little bit, you can. If you're going to go through some cardboard, you can choke up right over top of where the micarta is. It's a little sharp, but it's not terrible. That'd probably be my one gripe about it. I think I mentioned in the review, or if the review's coming out, can't keep track these days. I wish it would have been like a little bit of a flat spot there for that choke up. I think that would have done better. But honestly, if you need to come back and just get, for me, the 3 1/4 inch grip, not inch, finger grip, you can put your thumb out here and just wrap it around the micarta where it stops, and that's going to keep everything in the blade path. Just a really nice carry. Pretty good fidget factor too with the thumb cutout. It is a little small for me, but honestly, I can't gripe about it or complain or nitpick even, because until right then, I haven't had any issues with deployment. Been really fun to deploy. Really good action, really smooth. And I only imagine this is going to break in the more that I carry it. But I like it a lot. I think the stonewash was done really well. And that edge looks really, really good. As you can see, it's catching the light. Just a great knife. So glad that I picked one up. I think they're having another drop soon. But I think you have to get in on the pre-order, and I don't remember the dates for that. You want to go to Urban EDC Supply to check that, to see when that is, if that's one that you're interested in, because I believe they were trying to get more of the blacked out micarta in, and also the denim blue, which also looks really good. Urban EDC Supply is one to probably put into your favorites, because they do a lot of really unique custom, or I wouldn't call them custom, but exclusive is probably a better descriptor of what they bring in through their website. So it's nice because you get something a little different and kind of unique. Tuesday, I did go ahead and go with a Titanium Tuesday carry, and another knife that's about this size that I'm really enjoying is the Concept Convict. I did pick up, this is, I guess let me start with the steel. This is a sheepdog design. As you can see the name there, the Convict. This has a really well done stonewash that I like a lot. Not that typical satin blade finish. Really well done S35VN. Very nice edge. It has a nice sharpening choil that is definitely not a finger cutout. That is off the plunge grind and giving you a little bit of that sharpening choil. Nice utility edge with that sheep's foot. You're going to get good draw cuts, good push cuts, because you're going to get a much more consistent surface throughout. So regardless if the blade moves around on you, you're going to be able to get that cut through fine. It is a titanium frame. It is a nice thin EDC, so really good in pocket, not going to take up a lot of real estate, going to be really nice to carry, and the fact that it has a good weight to it, pretty lightweight, really thin in the pocket. It's not going to pop out. You're not going to feel that as you're walking, your hand grazing across it. Fantastic pocket clip. Both of these have excellent. I love the shorty and the fact that it's the flipped over low profile with a little bit of a lip, and this one too. This milled titanium pocket clip works really good going in and out of the pocket. It is far enough forward where it does not catch coming out of my pocket, not that I have noticed at all. Really good action on this, very smooth, has remained centered, does have a nice fidget factor with the thumb studs, believe it or not, really fidgety. I believe as long as you can remember to keep your finger off that lock bar. I tend to want to go over here and kind of grab on it, and if I do that, I just got to remember to lighten up my grip on the knife itself, and I can get it to deploy, but it is more comfortable if you can remember to back up onto the pocket clip. It's not quite so pokey. My only complaint, or I would say the only thing I found disappointing, is they didn't use titanium bolts in the pivot and anodize those to match as well. It might have been a little busy over here, but I think it still would have matched a lot nicer and aesthetically. I think it would have been more pleasing. But just really good ergos, very comfortable to use, very lightweight to carry, and has a great utility shape to it. It is Friday. Part of my job sometimes requires me to be in meetings and on calls a lot, so I might be a little tongue twisted today. So I apologize for that. I it's a Friday. What can I say? I usually do these like over the weekend after I'm freshed and refreshed and telling you what I want to carry, but I really have been enjoying being able to just pick whatever I feel like carrying that day, and then just coming back and talking about the knives a little bit more on the channel. It gives me the opportunity to also highlight these tools a little differently, as opposed to just the unboxing and initial review after a short carry. I can talk about a little bit more about the knife, maybe some other things that I've learned, or if I've actually started to enjoy something more, I can kind of share that in between the initial review and a long-term review. So I do appreciate being able to do that in these videos, even though sometimes you might see repeats, but I think that also probably tells you how much I actually really enjoy carrying one of these, because I find that it's making its way back into the pocket. So I actually will be interested in seeing that too when I get to the top whatever of the month and first half of the year, etc. Anyway, quick housekeeping. If you're enjoying the video, leave that like for me. It does help with the YouTube algorithm. Comment down below on what knife you liked that I carried, what knife you're interested in that I put out here on the table, what you're carrying and enjoying. It doesn't really matter. Just comment, and it really, again, does help with the YouTube algorithm because it shows that interaction. I really appreciate the support. Y'all are awesome, and I'm blown away by how quickly this channel has grown. Thank you all for that. I really do appreciate it. All right. Moving along, Wednesday, a knife that I just cannot get enough of. This one really is a really good EDC sized, really nice because it's very easy to carry, does not take up a lot of space, and offers so much for the money in my opinion, and that is going to be the Savivi Altus. I love this blade shape. You can see it's getting more and more use. That stone washed coated finish, you can just see where I actually have been breaking down a couple more little knife boxes when my stockpile gets a little too big, and it gets that, I don't know, scarring. I feel like that just gives it the use, like the snail trail on a Sabenza. I love that look because it lets me know someone's enjoying the tool and it's getting use out of it. Whereas the satin and even sometimes the acid etched stone wash doesn't show it as much. You do get that a little bit more with the coated blades, and I think the only thing is it does hide a little bit better with the stone wash because it doesn't have that satin finish to it. Trying to think, the Kaiser, let me see, actually it's over here. The Kaiser, I didn't carry this week, but I just want to show you what I'm talking about. So you see that satiny finish on the Kaiser, and it gives the reflectivity. The stone washing dulls it down enough on, whoops, I really need to replace this tripod. I bump it all the time. The stone washed finish actually, if I can get this tripod back into place, hides it a little bit better. But really that doesn't matter to me. I don't mind that my knives show use. There are some that I obviously probably take a little bit better care of than others, but this is just a great knife. Getting back to the knife, it's so thin and slicey. It has a fantastic edge. Savivi does an awesome job with their Nitro V. This thing, I'm starting to actually like this steel just a little bit better than 154 cm for where it resides in the price range, if that makes sense. I really like 154 CM. I really always felt like it was really well rounded, good toughness, good strength, good edge retention, good ease of sharpening, and Nitro V really feels like that to me. Now, I will say Nitro V takes a little bit more effort. I sharpened up I changed the edge on my Imperium a little bit just to play with a little, and it takes a little bit more time, but it's not awful, and it has such a great bite after you strap them up, and right out of the box from Savivi. My only complaint here, as I've had it a little bit longer and carried a little bit more, as you can see, all of the blacked out hardware doesn't match. So you have a matte finish up here in the front with the studs, pivot, button lock, and then you get back here to the hardware and it has that satin finish to it. I really wish they would have, taken a little bit more care with that detail to match it up. I feel at this price point, because they're pushing up in price, even though they're giving you some nicer steels, and their fit and finish is fantastic, totally justifiable price points. But just pay attention to those finishes for me. I think that makes a little bit of a difference. Doesn't really take away from the knife as far as performance and what I enjoy about it. This definitely has really well tuned button lock detent, because it's not a detent ball. I don't know what else to call it, but that button lock detent is really, really good. The only thing you have to be careful of, their thumb studs for me are a little sharp, and it does go into the thumb a little bit. I have to remember to come down and push up on it, and as you can see, it still chews away at that. I wish it kind of would have been a little bit more rounded, and I can't think of an immediate example of one that has a little bit better thumb stud on it that I like. But really, those are nitpicky complaints. The knife is fantastic, performance is really good, excellent blade shape, really good geometry. I mean, really good. Savivi, they nail the geometry on these things. That is what was in my pocket on Wednesday. Let's spread these out a little bit more. I feel like they're just kind of all up on each other. There you go. You get to enjoy this a little bit as I go through them. All right, moving this along. I'm not trying to make this too long. This next knife was, if you follow me on Instagram or you check out my shorts, you probably saw this week. This is one I picked up not too long ago that I unboxed here recently through Schedule. I do try to coordinate Schedule with when I actually post on Instagram and do shorts and stuff, with the exception, I think, of the AD 20.5 that I got through DLT. I did a little short unboxing on Instagram, kind of to give anyone that does follow me over there a little bit of a sneak peek. This is the Chavez Redención Street, and as you can see, I already put a snail on it. That is from handling it left-handed with my ring, but it doesn't really bother me because the titanium is just stonewashed anyway. You can see it already had all the pelting and everything on there, but my wedding ring did put a little bit of a mark on there, and that's okay. This is definitely a grail that I wanted to get. I wanted to experience a Chavez. I wanted to experience a Riot-made knife, and it doesn't disappoint. I like a lot of the things about this. I think the grind's really awesome. I love the hollow grind and the flat grind out on the tip, so that is really, really neat, and I like the way that it actually works. Oh, here you go. Talk about really well done thumb studs. This one here definitely has some of the nicest thumb studs I've ever engaged with and interacted with on a knife. Very comfortable, very well knocked down around the edges to where it's not sharp, and really well-tuned detent. I would say the only thing that I've realized is I flipped it a few times I flipped it quite a lot after I got it, and I noticed that the detent didn't have any type of lubricant over top of it, and it dried out really quick, and it was not broken in on the blade path yet. Hadn't created its own little path there, so it did have some resistance. So I just took a little bit of oil and dabbed it on a Q-tip, just enough where it would come off, and then I kind of rubbed it on the detent ball. What I don't want is for it to create a lock stick, but the nice thing is the detent ball on this one is way up high, and the lock up, I'm trying to get down in there so you can see it, the lockup on it doesn't actually touch there. It touches right below that, so there's enough space in there where I wasn't worried about that creating any type of lock stick, which this has done. and the little bit of oil has helped to where this will shake shut. It is not guillotine with the detent engaged, but it will fall, and again, you got to be careful of that. So this is my first nitpick, and that is the fact that it will go into the thumb because that is a sharpened edge. The only other complaint, it just has sharp edges, and I know this design's been around for a while, but you can kind of feel this from time to time on these corners in the hand, creating a little bit of a hot spot. But when you're holding it in the natural position, you don't feel any of that. It's super comfortable. The jimping, even though it's really thick and spaced apart, actually works really good. It definitely keeps the knife from sliding around in the hand. The swedge on it keeps it from dragging on anything. I did cut at some cardboard, but not a whole lot yet. You know, it's still relatively new to me, so I got to get over that honeymoon phase and really just go ahead and put this M390 through the paces and see how it feels. It has remained centered, has super tight tolerances, really super tight tolerances. There's not a lot of room on either side of the blade, inside of the handle. Pocket clip goes in and out really smooth. I wasn't sure if, you know, whenever you see they have this cut out on the outside for the lock bar, I always worry about how that's going to affect the pants. No issues at all. And this one here, in my opinion, is the perfect size. Just like I've claimed with the Mini Adamas, I think the Street is the perfect EDC size. Now, if you like a big blade, obviously get the bigger version, but I really like that one a lot. And, you know, you can see that I carry it and handle it. And again, you can see the little bit of nicks from my wedding ring. I just think that gives it character. And again, I don't have any intentions of getting rid of that one. That one was a grail. I sold a ton of knives to be able to afford that one there, just like the Nkosi. So my inventory goes in and out, but the good thing, I guess, about selling some of the stuff that I'm not carrying or not as passionate about is it allows me to free up funds to get something that I'm more passionate about. Last but not least is today, and today is a dual carry. First up, in my fifth pocket, I actually carried my Kaiser Feist Deadpool. This one here has the CPM 3V. This was a Mojave Outdoor exclusive. You can find it on Amazon through their Mojave store, but really cool little knife. Oh, you can start to see a little bit of the marks there from when I've done some cutting with this. This one and the Sheepdog probably this weekend are going to make it into a stonewash video and resharpening of these steels. I want to check out how 10V and 3V sharpen. They have a fantastic edge, a lot of bite. From what I understand about these steels, though, just like 20CV, they are not super corrosive or resistant, which is why I do like the fact that they're coated. So I will be protecting the pivot areas with some fingernail polish. Actually, you know, for the stone washing, that's not going to really matter. So that actually will be a really good video to do. I love the micarta on here. I love that this is really a good utilitarian shape, being it's the reverse tanto versus the drop point. You get a lot of cutting edge, and you get enough of a tip out there to where you can pierce if you need to. But I don't really do anything heavy with this. I find that I'm opening a lot of boxes, packages. I did something today and I wanted to remember what it was. Oh, I was cutting some tape sections, and because I was cutting from the top, it wasn't really getting any adhesive out there on the tip, so that was really nice. But it's a really well done knife, and I do like that a lot. So this was in my fifth pocket today. If I can, let me do this. This was a Friday carry, even though I'm gonna put it over here by the other micarta knife. And then what I was actually carrying in my main pocket is my Chris Reeve Nkosi. Man, I just love this thing. This is a bigger knife than anything here on the table, and I probably will one day in the future, like way out, not in any rush, but I probably will pick up a small Sabenza. I'm looking at the one with the micarta inlays. I really like those. I don't understand why there's such a huge price difference between the natural micarta inlay and the black micarta inlay. It's a huge price difference, and I kind of wonder if I should just get the natural and just dye that crap black myself, but I just kind of feel bad and a little guilty thinking that I'm going to mod a Chris Reeve knives. You know, a lot of the creators out here have these high-end hinderers and such, and you know, they they treat them like I probably treat my like $100 to $150 knives. I still feel like when I go to use these, but they don't feel like they're afraid to be used or handled. I'm not saying anything new. I'm probably repeating something you've seen on these, and that is that the anode just wears off really quickly on the thumb studs. Thumb studs are plenty comfortable. They are very pointy, so if you're trying to use them from the top, they are uncomfortable. I have found, like, when you get in, I was on the lock bar, when you get in right beside it, it actually is coned really well and super comfortable. It is breaking in smoothly to the point where if I want, I can do, well, not behind the camera, let me sit up a little. I can flip it out, but it's just not really intended to do that. I mean, it really isn't comfortable to do it either. You're pushing down into the tip again to be able to do that, but it is really breaking in nicely. It's really, really smooth, and just to show you all, there is no blade play at all. I don't even know if you could, even if you wanted to loosen it more. There's so many contact points throughout the pivot. I don't know if you could get any rock lock in there. That's what is in my pocket today and what will be going back into my pocket when we're done here. I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, leaving a like helps. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to comment down below. What did you like that's out here? I know it's a lot of monochromatic, and I had 3 titanium carries this week, and actually this has all titanium hardware. I just picked it up that day and I wanted to carry it. You know, some of these are still so new that I just want to carry them as much as I can before I do their reviews, and that way I have, you know, built a relationship with them. I do find that at times I'm missing some of my older things, but I think I did a good job rotating, because I think last week I had, you know, my fat carbon smock in the pocket, and I had my dark matter fat carbon shaman in the pocket. So I think I do a good job kind of rotating, and I don't even have to think about it, because what happens is I end up like, oh man, I haven't carried this in a while. I really want to carry this. I just get that sense. And I think I'm at a good, my inventory is at a good place to where I can afford to do that without feeling like I haven't carried something in forever. Maybe. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate all the support. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend and a fantastic week, because this will be coming out on Monday. Yeah, Monday. All right, guys. Until next time, peace.